I think there's fire on the mountain in Edo State as Obaseki has come out to say that this election is a do or die affair matter. That he will not in any way sign any peace accord. Because while they were on the campaign ground, police came and arrested over 100 of their fans. What's your take on this?
To be quite honest with you, I think it will take Edo people to resist with their blood to wrestle that state from APC. Not perhaps because APC is popular in that state, but because what we are seeing, the president seems to have given a tacit order to security agencies to work in a particular direction. When you see, or rather when you saw a president speaking in that manner, asking party faithfuls, do you want Edo back? And they said yes. And he said, and the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I'll give it to you. You should know the implication of that statement. We are already seeing the multiplier effect. A situation where Benjamin Carlo are talking about the Deputy Speaker of House of Representatives have extended it to Abia State, saying that come 2027 that he owes it to his party to deliver Abia State to APC. We are seeing the APC national chairman, I'm talking about Ganuje, say that they are going to capture Edo State. So I'm not surprised. And from what I'm seeing, it will take Edo people to do what River people did in 2019 when Ewike won a second term. We saw how the people stood their ground and defended their vote. So this accord for me is not the one that will necessitate or engender peace during the process. We are simply accord during Nigerian election, whether at the level of presidential election, governorship election, it has always been violence, characterized with violence. So the peace accord have never in any way at any time guarantee or engender free, fair and credible process of election. For me, handing people, arresting people is old-fashioned of politics. We have seen that play out in the past. So it's going to show that we are not learning. It's going to show that we are not ready to deepen the democracy. And come to think of it, the only way you can have free, fair and credible election in Nigeria is to minimize human interference in the process. And the only way you can do that is to ensure that the process of collation of results, you make it in such a way that it should be electronic. Like what I had last time, when the INEC will come up with their guideline and they said they were going to transmit the election results electronically. Of course, that's the way to go. Before then, we saw the effort of stakeholders in Nigeria trying to put, or how they put the National Assembly on their toe to ensure that they amended that relevant section of Electoral Act that empowers INEC to transmit election results electronically. Little did we know that INEC was not responsible enough to be given discretionary power because they abuse it. Though they give excuse of network glitch in that election, but we are not satisfied, or we are not satisfied that they were actually genuine network glitch. So to that extent, I'm even surprised that up to now we are not yet seeing stakeholders, Nigerians, pressuring National Assembly to deepen democracy by amending that same relevant section of Electoral Act to remove that discretionary power from INEC and bring some specifics so that you must give us specifics in terms of election, the mode of transmission of election result. Okay. If you are transmitting the election result, let it be electronically transmitted. If you are not doing that, definitely anything we are seeing in terms of preparation for election, whether obstacle election, whether the general election, I think we are setting the stage for manipulation of the process. Because in this part of the world, if our electoral process is prone to manipulation, because you have a situation, of course, they say he who pays the piper takes the tone. The police, the army, the DSS, they have the responsibility to play in the election management, are answerable to Mr. President.
But Mr. Machi, don't you think the high-handedness of Obaseki not to sign this peace accord deserves to be called out? Because yesterday the IGP was in Edo State and he emphatically called out Obaseki. That Obaseki, if he does anyhow, he'll get apprehended. And he has also called Obaseki not to engage any private military, bodies or try to use the state commissioned apparatus to try and disrupt, the election. And immediately we also saw Professor Mahmoud Yakub. Is this not nostalgic? Because we remember how they gave us the assurance, because the police is saying that nobody will interfere with this election, that they are assuring, or Obaseki is saying, on the other hand, that he doesn't trust the police, that he doesn't even trust the INEC. Is this justifiable?
We have always seen people signing peace accord. Nobody is saying people should not sign peace accord. But the problem is that peace accord doesn't have force of the law. One, it doesn't have force of the law. And anytime you see people violating it, do you see sanction coming against them? Obviously, no. So somebody pulling out of peace accord is happening. You do not have confidence in the process.
Is it not criminal?
Now that I don't know what you mean by criminal, because in the first place, the peace accord do not have force of the law. It's just an understanding.
What about in good faith and goodwill?
But when people flout it, and maybe they send their lieutenants to go and perpetrate crime, violence, how do you bring those people to justice? I will remind you something. Cast your mind back to is it Kogi, where a PDP Labour leader was burned to death. Yes. Up to date, I think it happened under Muhammadu Buhari. Up to date, I'm not sure anybody has been convicted. Arrests were made. And a peace accord was signed. Cast your mind back to 2019 in Rivers State when they did the election. The people resisted with their blood to the point that a PDP local government agent, a lecturer then, was shot because he resisted manipulation of the process. And there was peace accord. Though the government of Rivers State then gave the family about 250 million, but that couldn't bring back the life of the man who have died. So the point is, the peace accord does not have the force of law. And when you see violence, even if we have relevant section of the constitution that deals with those violence, how often do you see government dragging people to court and securing conviction to act as deterrent to others? So the reason that Obaseki may be pulling out is because, just as it's all over the media space, that they're already hounding, intimidating, arresting their supporters and detaining them in Abuja ahead of the election. So it means they have completely lost confidence in the electoral process. So maybe you want to resort to self-help anyway. I don't know. I don't know how the mandate to speak for him. But to be quite honest with you, I'm not seeing anything close to free, fair, and fair election in that federal election.
Okay. Thank you very much for that brilliant submission, Mr. Matthias.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Okay, we will give you 100 trucks of rice after the Alo Dam in Maiduguri outburst, displacing over 1,000 families. These are the statements of your president, President Tinubu.
Well, you see, it boils down to what I keep saying, that we don't have a president. We don't have a thinking president who knows how to think for the citizens. He doesn't even have the citizens in mind. The first thing that came to his mind is rice. How does rice connect to, we're talking of something that an event that happened that is shaking them. You never even talked about cash. You are talking about rice. They should go and be eating rice. That's why, because when things happen to poor masses, it's always rice. It's always rice. Because they believe poor masses have never eaten rice in their life. So let us give them rice to go and settle themselves with. But on a good day, if you have a thinking president who is thinking for the masses, who is thinking, what do we do for this kind of event? When he comes there, his mind will be on how do I do things. Then even get all these people, you know that these things, so many things have been damaged. Of course, cash reward has to come in. And you have to even monitor the cash reward. That's the truth. You have to monitor, because if you go to advanced countries, what they do is cash reward. Not the same. Rice down. So, okay, if you bring the rice, mind you that the rice is not going to get to all of them. Some stupid, hungry people at the top will still steal that rice. That's the problem. Some stupid, hungry people at the top, they will still steal the rice. And at the end of the day, you will not claim you government have given rice to them. And these people you are giving rice, some of them, the rice never gets to them. So it's high time in this country we learn how to do things wisely. Each time I keep saying it on this platform that I don't have a working president. My president is not educated. My president did not go to school. Forget about all these things that will come with a forged certificate to come and lie. Tinubu is not a graduate. That is what is disturbing his government. He doesn't listen. I'm not a fan of Jonathan. I criticize Jonathan more than anything, but let me tell you what worked for Jonathan during his time. He employed graduates. He employed more learned people. That is why his government was not because Jonathan was working. Jonathan was busy drinking gogoro. He wasn't working, but because the people he employed there are people that are learned. So they made us not to see Jonathan's fault. That's why we're praising Jonathan. That's why I told you that I am not a fan of Jonathan. But what happened is that he employed learned people in his government and they were helping his government to grow. That's why it looks like today you can now compare Jonathan government to the rest of Buhari and the rest of them. Now Buhari was the first to come to destroy everything. Then Tinubu came and damaged everything completely. Because under Buhari government, see, let me tell you what happened. I keep telling people there's something that happened between Buhari and Tinubu, but people don't want to believe it. Buhari suggested to Tinubu that he should remove fuel subsidy. I'm telling you, he was the one that told Tinubu. And someone told Tinubu that is what is going to help this country. Now, Tinubu, instead of him to be calculative, he said, okay, he promised him. So that's why immediately he got to power. He wants his boss to say, yes, you did what I want you to do. That's why I said he removed subsidy. Now he removed subsidy. Since he started to today, that's what Nigeria is facing now. Now, he does not even know how to repair, put Nigeria back to shape. And now, let me tell you one stupid thing about this Nigeria country called Nigeria. Next election again, I heard the other day somebody was saying, Hausa people are furious. They are even saying they want to go on their own. They are furious about Tinubu. Don't worry, next election. Tinubu will go and see their top Hausas. You know, those top Hausas has a way of talking to their junior ones. Those who will not agree again, they will vote Tinubu again. Then Yoruba people will say, let me tell you one thing. Before the election, there's one Baba. He used to campaign for Tinubu. When I want to say, I go keep silent. So when Tinubu entered, after this scene, then one day I called the Baba and said, Baba, come and shut up there, your father there. That is it. Because Tinubu don't be sure. He's doing it already, and we are feeling it. Tribalism is what is killing us in this country. I will tell you why. Look at the Yorubas. I am an Igbo man. This next election, you tell them to vote Peter Obi, they will say, Ronnie, keep Peter Obi on the share. What is he going to do? He's not asking that Mulu. Is it the Tinubu that is present now?
But MC Grammar, so many Hausas now are saying that Peter Obi will be a better option come 2027. Don't you think they will vote Peter Obi?
See, let me tell you, the last thing that Usama will do in this world to see an Igbo man get there. See, Alausa still trust Yoruba. Alausa trust body Igbo. Let me tell you why Nigerians are too scared of Igbos. Hausa are too scared of Igbos because Igbos are technologically sound. They are technologically sound. That is the truth. Igbos have advanced brain. Now, Yorubas are afraid of Igbos because they know these people are too wise. The problem Igbos are having in Nigeria is that we are too wise. We are living with people that are not as wise as we are. There is no how you expect. There is no how you as a person will expect them to love you. It's not possible. They must hate you. That is the problem Igbos is facing.
Are you saying the Igbos are suffering a fate of envy and jealousy?
Yes, that is okay. Okay, let me ask you. This one is very simple. Since you have been existing in Nigeria, have you made the Yoruba land? Have you heard